We're taught from a young age that persistence is the ultimate virtue. If at first you don't succeed, try again. But in the world of business innovation, blindly pushing forward often becomes a fatal error. Imagine spending 6 months and millions of dollars running heavy machinery to tap an oil well. Every geological test comes back completely dry, showing only solid granite. Yet the project manager looks at the dirt and says, "We have to keep going, dig deeper." That manager is falling victim to the sunk cost fallacy, the irrational trap where you keep pouring resources into a losing strategy simply because of what you've already spent. The primary job of a leader involves recognizing when to stop digging and finding the right idea, rather than forcing the original concept into reality through sheer willpower. Eventually, almost every founder sits across from a spreadsheet that tells a cold, unforgiving truth. The numbers prove the current approach is failing. This forces a choice between two paths: persevere, hoping the market will suddenly see your genius, or pivot by accepting the data and altering your course to stay alive. Making the wrong choice here destroys companies. So how do you determine if your business simply needs a little more time to grow, or if the idea itself is dead on arrival? In a crisis, your intuition will lie to you. To survive, you have to strip away emotion and look for 4 strict mathematical red flags that signal it is time to change direction. The first flag is a flat-lined growth chart. You run a discount, you launch a new ad campaign, you redesign the website, and the growth curve remains completely horizontal. If you run 3 or 4 targeted experiments and the line doesn't budge, the market is actively rejecting you. The second flag is a high churn rate, a gaping hole at the bottom of your business. You might be excellent at getting new users to try your service, but if 90% of them cancel after the first month, the product itself fails to solve their actual issue. The third flag is an upside-down acquisition model. If you spend $1,000 on ads to acquire a single customer who only spends $500 over their lifetime, the math is broken. Scaling up will only bankrupt you faster. The fourth flag is severe team burnout. When employees spend every day pushing a boulder up a hill only to watch it roll back down, they lose faith in leadership. Ignoring these 4 indicators is a conscious decision to set your remaining runway on fire. This is where you have to pivot. In basketball, a pivot happens when a player is trapped by the defense. They anchor one foot securely to the floor while stepping and spinning with the other foot to find a clear angle to pass the ball. In business, that firmly planted anchor foot represents your vision and the core problem you want to solve for your customer. You do not move that foot. The foot that sweeps across the floor is your business model or your specific solution. You test new angles while staying rooted to your core mission. Silicon Valley entrepreneur Eric Ries documented several specific ways to execute this maneuver. You might take one highly popular feature and zoom in to make it your entire product. Or you might change how you charge, shifting from a massive upfront fee to a monthly subscription. Executing a pivot keeps the underlying mission alive while replacing the tactics that didn't work. It is a way to stay in the game long enough to win. Let's look at how this plays out in reality. A small manufacturing company built a factory to produce premium organic fertilizer pellets. Their vision was clear: help Thai agriculture transition away from harsh chemicals while improving crop yields. They took their initial product to market, targeting small-scale rice and corn farmers with bags priced at 500 baht each. The sales data immediately flatlined. For a small rice farmer operating on razor-thin margins, 500 baht was entirely out of budget, and organic nutrients released too slowly to fit their short harvest cycle. A stubborn executive would have doubled the sales team and pushed harder, bleeding cash in the process. Instead, this team recognized the flatline and executed a customer segment pivot, keeping the exact same fertilizer, but changing who they were talking to. They packed up those 500 baht bags and drove straight to export-grade durian orchards and high-altitude organic coffee estates. The reception completely flipped. Because premium durian is a highly lucrative export that relies on long-term soil health, the orchard owners bought the organic fertilizer in bulk. To them, 500 baht a bag was a negligible expense to protect a multi-million baht harvest. By altering just the audience, the company turned a failing venture into a profitable operation while completely preserving their original mission. Pivoting should never be used as a convenient exit strategy when a project feels difficult. Some leaders impulsively change course out of boredom, discarding months of work without a valid reason. Before you touch the steering wheel, you need to step back and act as an objective diagnostician. There is a strict checklist of questions you must answer to ensure your pivot is justified. First, are you changing direction because you exhaustively tested the product and the data explicitly told you to stop? Second, does this new direction preserve the company's soul? Pivoting from ride-sharing to food delivery is a natural evolution, but switching to a crypto casino is an abandonment of your core identity. Finally, have you clearly explained the specific data driving this decision to your team? If you suddenly announce a new product direction without showing them the math, they will assume you are just guessing. A legitimate pivot is a highly disciplined, surgical maneuver. It is an intentional redesign, rather than a retreat from the struggle. Building a business isn't a university exam where you need to score 100% on your very first try. It is a ruthless game of survival. The ultimate winner is rarely the person who starts with a flawless idea. The winner is the leader who tightly manages their cash flow, reads the market feedback objectively, and shifts their model until it finally clicks with a paying audience. Finding that perfect product-market fit is only the end of the search phase. Once you actually start generating real revenue, an even more difficult transition begins: scaling the operation. Long-term success depends on a founder's ability to remain highly adaptable, surviving through calculated adjustments rather than blind persistence.